In this movie I will show you how you can use Adobe Premiere Pro in order to make a rough version of your animation, which you can use while shooting stop motion animation with sound. We're going to take a piece of audio, so a piece of music, and we're going to visualize the words. So when you hear them, you need to see them on the screen. And we're going to export this as an image sequence, which you can use while shooting. First, I'm going to import my sound. And I'm going to create a new sequence from this piece of audio. So you can do this by right-clicking on it and selecting new sequence from clip. So we're going to find the moments where new words, where you can hear the separate words. Now I put some markers in another software so you can see them on the audio wave, but we're going to add our own markers now. So I'm just going to position the current time to a certain spot and going to listen for the words that I want to mark. So I position the current time and I press M in order to add my own marker. When you do this, you can see a marker appear on top of the timeline. You can use this, you can double click it to enter extra information if you want to specify for each marker where it's positioned. So I'm going to enter there. So the first word. I'm gonna move the current time and find the next word. It's destination. So I pressed M again and I'm entering a description. Maybe this is not necessary, but if you're exporting this, you can use these markers in another software. So I'm going to continue and scroll a little further and find the next word. You can jump from one marker to another by using shortcuts. It's Shift M to go to the next one and Command Shift M to go to the previous one. On Windows, this will probably be Shift M is the same, but Control Shift M to jump to the previous marker. This way you can easily navigate through your timeline just by jumping from one marker to another. So I recorded the other one in Dutch. What you're seeing now is I'm searching all the different words. So I'm sorry you can't hear the original sound, but it was mixed in one track. So it's sung by Beck where it's at. So now I'm jumping back and forward, searching for the positions of the words I want to visualize. So you don't have to do them all. I'm just going to show a few markers so we can continue with the next part, putting the text on the timeline. So I'm going to jump to my first word there. Okay. And in order to put a word, which we can see, I'm going to use a title. You can find this by going to the menu item title, select new title, default still. The size doesn't matter that much. I'm just going to give it a logical name because I'm going to reuse these titles to generate the next words. All the other defaults are okay. You get a little editor, and I can now use the type tool to put a word on the screen. So I'm just going to click and I enter my first word, theirs. So in order to get it perfect, we can center the word by using the little two buttons on the left side to center it vertically and horizontally. And I'm also going to change the paragraph style to center. So if I duplicate this word and I change it, the word will be centered. Okay, so close this. And now I can grab this and drag it to the timeline and snap it to the current time because I'm positioned on the first marker. Now we will have to cut it. So you can do this by dragging the right hand side to the current time indicator. We can also use shortcut C and use cut in order to split this part into two halves. So I can select the second part and delete it. Okay, we're going to repeat this, but we're not going to create new titles. I'm going to duplicate the one we already had. So right click on it, select duplicate, and now I'm changing the name. The second word is destination. So if I now double click it, I can change the text. So select the word, select all, and enter the new text. So I accidentally moved it, so I did a undo too much, which changed the name back. So second time, changing the name, destination. Okay, I can now drag it to the timeline and repeat the same action. So I go to the third marker, I cut the word, delete the remaining part. So now I can continue to the next word. So I'm again duplicating my current title. So finding the right spot in the original. Okay, so selecting it, right click, duplicate, change the words at the title a little, double clicking to edit it. Okay, clicking the word, selecting all, changing the text, and closing it, and repeating the same stuff, putting it on the timeline, jumping to the next one and cutting it, removing the extra part. So I need to repeat this for my complete song, but if you now preview, you can see that the words are appearing synchronized to what you're hearing. And now we need to export this, and I'm going to export it to an image sequence. And of course we will have to know the frame rate which we will use for our stop motion, because we want it to match, because now if we're shooting we can have a frame for each frame we're going to shoot. So if you go through the footage and go from 1, 2, 3, we will see when certain words appear and how long they will have to stay, or how long it takes for them to be completely pronounced. So if you want to do this more detailed, you can go further and not enter words, but separate parts of the word, if you really want to work very detailed. So I've used the export functionality, so it's Command M on Mac or Control M on Windows. I changed the setting to a PNG file, PNG, and I selected the location where I want to save it. The most important part is to change the frame rate. This needs to match your project. So if you're shooting 12 frames per second, make sure to put the same property here. So if you now hit export, this little rough movie which guides us through our stop motion capture is exported into separate frames and the location which you selected. If you press Q, Adobe Encoder will open and it will be entered automatically as a new item in the queue. You can use this if you're going to transform or encode a lot of movies. This way you can let your computer render it by night. But of course we want the result right now, so I've selected export. So let's have a look. If I go to the location which I selected, I can now see my image. So on Mac I can just press space and I will get the images. Now it appears as if nothing is there, but it's a transparent movie, so we're only going to see something from the moment there's a word in the center. So I could open all this in like preview on Mac and then go through the different frames using the arrow keys. I'm sure on Windows you have something in which you can open all the images and go through the sequence by using the arrow keys or another key. The idea is that you open it up next to your software, or maybe your partner opens it up on his or her laptop. This way, every time you shoot a frame, you just go one frame further in the reference and you will see when you will have to when the next word is heard. So this can be easy. You always need to try to shoot to get everything right from the first time. Maybe you will need to edit afterwards, but don't start by just shooting a lot of frames and thinking you can fix everything in post-production. So always have the ambition to do it right from the first time. It took a lot more time in the Dutch version to explain more, but this wraps up the making of a rough example movie and exporting it to a sequence. So have the ambition to always shoot correct from the first time, and this takes preparation. So it might seem as a big job, but it's really worth it. So hopefully you will go through the trouble doing it this way, and you will find out yourself that it's a nice way to work.